attention, please. I'm John Rogers, the President of the Board of the Chicago Park District, and I'm here to welcome all of you on this really historic occasion. We are extremely excited to have this day come to pass. It's something that really is very, very special to the City of Chicago and the Chicago Park District. First, I'd like to introduce some of the people that are here in the audience. First, I'd like to introduce my fellow commissioners, Vice President Mona Castillo, Commissioner Anita Cummings, and Commissioner Michael Scott. Really appreciate their support and them coming out tonight this morning also. From the Chicago Bulls, we have Bob Love, the Director of Community Relations. My friend Steve Shawnwall, the Vice President of Marketing. As you all know, the Bulls are going to be a very, very important partner in the plan that we're going to outline today. Also, Chicago Police Department, Superintendent Matt Rodriguez is here. From the Chicago Housing Authority, we have the Chairman, Vince Lane. And Graham Grady, the Chief Operating Officer. This is especially exciting for me because I think a lot of you know I love to play basketball. And I play basketball in the Margate Park Summer Leagues. And so I've already talked to Ray Vasquez, one of our regional managers, and talked about the fact that our team play the winners of this midnight basketball tournament. So we're really looking forward to that. But we couldn't have all this happen if we didn't have our mayor, Mayor Richard Daley. And we all know we have the greatest mayor in the city of Chicago. His support for all the things we're trying to accomplish at the Park District, that Forrest and I are trying to accomplish, and our fellow commissioners, really starts directly from his office. And his support has been instrumental in all the things that have happened at the Park District over the last 18 months. So with that, I'd like to introduce our mayor, Richard Daley.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, John Rogers and DeForest Claypool, and to another fine elected official who's done so much here on the West Side, Alderman Ed Smith, who has worked very closely with the parks and with Chicago Housing Authority and all those involved in improving the quality of life from education to housing to jobs, and he is with us this morning. In Washington, D.C. these days, some people are passing judgment on the value of midnight basketball. And when you hear some of the comments, they say it doesn't work, it's ineffective as a program. Last year, I mentioned to all the congressmen down there and the senators, and I said, isn't it amazing how you can criticize midnight basketball, but we taxpayers pay for your gym and your pool, your handball courts, and why is it that an effective intervention program that started with the grassroots, started with a lot of young people and young adults saying, hey, let's do something in the community. And the value of midnight basketball can be measured by not only these young men behind me, but thousands of others throughout the city of Chicago, who has really turned their lives around with the help and assistance of a lot of people. Gil Walker, a lot of the coaches, a lot of the volunteers, and everybody else involved in a sport, which deals with discipline, sportsmanship, it deals with breaking down barriers between one another and between communities. And what it does, it matures us and it brings us together. And that's what midnight basketball is all about. And I stand before you this morning at any time and any place, and I will debate anyone on the effectiveness of midnight basketball. It is not just a sport itself. There is more to it, as I mentioned earlier. I want to thank John Rogers, Forrest Claypool, Vince Lane, the Bulls, Bob Love and others, Superintendent Rodriguez, and all those involved in the midnight basketball. And what we see today is an example of the Park District really changing the concept of parks. And we see it standing right here on this floor. And as Alderman Ed Smith said, they had a problem with the floor. Forrest and others came right in and corrected it. Unfortunately, many years ago, it would have been staying the same way. they came in and did something right away. And that's how effective the Chicago Park District is, working with the community and to really upgrade the quality of the Park District facilities as well as the programs. They're innovative. When something works in midnight basketball, they expand it throughout the Park District. And I think that is a credit to those that organized and started midnight basketball. Here on the west side of Chicago, we're putting a Job Corps Center site on the west side. We are basically putting a new Humboldt Park Technical Center as well as a West Side Technical Center dealing with vocational training for young people. The key, I believe, in midnight basketball is supporting this concept and bringing out not only the public sector, but the private sector. When you see these young men on the basketball court, and you see the sportsmanship and their athletic ability, their maturity and their discipline, it says to all of us, we have a responsibility to help them with a job. In some way, public and private sector is to transition midnight basketball into an effective job program. And I think that is the goal of midnight basketball. I just want to thank all the sponsors. There's a lot of sponsors here. I think they can talk about a lot of people out there, companies and individuals that have really believed in these young men here in our city. And to the Chicago Bulls, who have done so much, the Michael Jordan Boys Club, the supporting of the library in the West Side. I mean, there's so many things that the Bulls are doing, and we have to say thank you to them because, you know, they're willing to step forward and work with the community. Of course, the Chicago Park District and CHA, by working together, really making a difference here in our city. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm pleased, I'm Forrest Claypool, Superintendent of the Park District. I'm pleased to welcome the coaches and players who are also here today. Standing behind us today are the 88 first-round draft picks of the 88 new teams of the Chicago Park District Midnight Basketball League. And we're very proud of these young men and women and hope that they will be with us for a great season this year and for years to come. So we give them a big round of applause. I hope that you, as the first-round draft picks, will return to your local parks and tell your fellow athletes about the commitment that has been pledged here today to this new league and to each of you. The extraordinary pledge of $375,000 from the Chicago Bulls and $100,000 from Mayor Daley has enabled this new park league to take off. Their support, combined with outstanding cooperation with Police Superintendent Matt Rodriguez and CHA Chairman Vince Lane during the planning process, is proof that Chicago works together. Most of us have heard about the CHA's successful midnight basketball program, and more recently, the Chicago Park District has felt the benefits of the late night version, which was piloted here at Garfield Park. As a result, midnight basketball, its name and concept intact, is blossoming in Chicago parks as well as in the CHA. The new league, consisting of 88 teams, 88 coaches, and 880 players, is a step in a new direction of the Chicago Park District. We are in the process of creating community centers in all neighborhoods, and our focus is on developing relevant and meaningful programs like midnight basketball. And as we launch this exciting new league today, I think it's fitting to share a little bit about the story from the beginning. Several years ago, Kiwanis Playground Park was overrun by gangs and was virtually empty. In a last attempt to keep the small facility on Chicago's far north side open, a new supervisor was brought in. He was given the mission of returning Kiwanis back to its community. Supervisor Jim Hobson started 5 basketball leagues, getting more than 500 6 to 24-year-olds off the streets and into organized athletic programs. Jim is now the park supervisor at Garfield Park, one of our largest regional parks and one of our most difficult facilities. He's managed it well for many years. And last year, when I stopped in at the Central Region to visit with Jim, he petitioned me to support a late-night basketball league. He knew exactly what would be needed to get the program off the ground, and so I approved his request on the spot. I had a hunch that Jim knew what he was doing. He's proved it day in and day out, year in and year out. Garfield Park piloted late-night basketball last year, and the 14-week program was an instant success. More than 200 young adults came out to fill one of 125 spots available. And the coaches, referees, the communities, Alderman Smith, the Garfield Park Advisory Council all rallied behind the effort and volunteered their time to make this happen. I think the players who were involved probably can speak more profoundly about it than anyone. Two of the young men who I spoke with earlier today, Albert Sharp and Keith Adams, participated in the program and spoke eloquently about the impact the program has had on their lives. And we're happy to have them here today and appreciate their involvement in the new effort. You guys raise your hands and identify. There we go. Here you go. The new Chicago Bulls Chicago Midnight Basketball League has been made possible through the tremendous support of the Chicago Bulls, the City of Chicago, CHA, Police Department, and all the individuals involved. And I would be remiss if I didn't, in addition to Jim Hobson, single out a couple of people, one of whom is not here today. This is Vince Lane's point person on Midnight Basketball, Gil Walker, he and Vince have been real visionaries in creating Midnight Basketball here in Chicago, and I think their efforts in helping us create this new program has been tremendous. And Near North Region Manager Ray Vasquez, who in a previous life with the YMCA has worked closely with the youth, and Ray's up here, was our point person at the Park District in organizing the pilot program and expanding us to the 11 sites that we're announcing today. So we're grateful to Ray as well. Midnight Basketball, as the mayor said, has proven its worth, and our hope is that the Chicago Park District, for the years to come, will prove that even more so. And I would finally just like to, again, as the mayor indicated, thank the Chicago Bulls for their extraordinary civic commitment. Steve Shanwald and Bob Love are here today. We've worked closely with. This is not the first time that the Chicago Bulls have stepped forward to offer significant financial support to help the city of Chicago. The Park District has been blessed for the last 5 years with a $1 million commitment to repair and maintain basketball courts like this one, outdoor and indoor courts. The Bulls have stepped up and have seen the critical need of recreational services for inner city youth in Chicago, and we are very grateful to them and to all our private partners, and I'd like to thank them again for their support that has made possible this league. At this point, I would like to introduce Steve Shanwald and Bob Love of the Chicago Bulls to present Mayor Daley with a check.
The Chicago Bulls are very pleased that we've been blessed this past decade, and we're in a position to be able to give back to the community that supported us so well over the years. I'd like to invite Forrest and John Rogers and the mayor to step in front of the podium so that Bob and I can present the Park District with a check in the amount of $375,000 to underwrite this great program.
Well, I'd just like to say a few words on behalf of the Chicago Bulls. I would just like to tell these young men that they are the luckiest young men in the world. Number one, they live in the greatest city in America, and we have the greatest mayor in the whole world, Mayor Daley, and we have the greatest basketball team in America. Did you young men know that the average NBA basketball player only plays 3 years in NBA? 3 years. The average NFL football player only plays 2 years. And once you retire, young man, you're going to have your whole life ahead of you. The Chicago Bulls and Mayor Daley would like to see you young men put the same energy into going to school, getting your education as you do on the basketball court. And if you young men do that, each and every one of you will be a great success. Thank you.
We have one problem during the training sessions. We haven't had any problems at all. And this is proof positive that no matter what your circumstances in life, no matter what your station, you are still required to become a productive citizen in our society. Our society demands it.
And I say to these young men that I will come in here and give you the opportunity to play game and also have the opportunity to take advantage of the other activities here in the park. But you come in here, you are not going to be identified as gang members. You're going to be identified as what you are, human beings, deserving of the respect and the dignity that all of us should be afforded. Thank you.